Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Chandler Knows Best, and today's video is going to be on my 3-day dry fast experience. Before I start this video, I'm going to give you guys a huge disclaimer because I am not responsible for whatever happens to other people who try this. First thing I want to point out is that I am not recommending that anyone tries this. I'm not telling anyone what to do. This is my personal experience and what I chose to do. It was my decision. I am not starving myself or promoting any diet changes that can cause harm to somebody. This is definitely not an all-size-fits-all criteria. It definitely depends on your body, how much you weigh, things like that. So you should probably do some research before you jump headfirst into dry fasting. And kids, don't do this. And if you do, I'm not responsible. Your parents are for even allowing you to watch this video. There are sources, plenty of them, in the description of this video that will support the arguments made in this video. It definitely takes two things, and that is research and an open mind, which a lot of you lack. People who get defensive about this video probably eat over 3 meals a day and haven't done any research on this, or even went a day without eating. Just like your average brainwashed American. Let's get started. So let me explain to you guys what I did. I did a 3-day dry fast. And there are many different kinds of fasts that you can try. There's a water fast when you're only allowed to drink water. There is a dry fast where you cannot have food or water, and I did a dry fast. And then there's a soft dry fast where you can incorporate like showers and brushing your teeth, but you still can't drink water or eat. So yes, long story short, I went 3 days without drinking water and without eating, and yes, without showering or brushing my teeth. It sounds gross. But I stayed home the whole time, so it's not like I went out in public. Basically, I pigged out on a Thursday, went to work, didn't eat all day on Friday, and then stayed home Saturday and Sunday as well and didn't eat until Sunday night. And then I went to work the next day feeling brilliant, by the way. I mean, I look and feel great after this, so this video is basically just about my experience and how I did it. It was probably one of the most stressful experiences, I can say that. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat it and say that it was a great experience. It wasn't, but it was definitely one of the best decisions that I have made because I feel amazing. And a lot of you guys may be thinking, oh my god, she's starving herself, so I'm here to address the myths and open your guys' third eye, because I know some of you guys are just sitting there with your closed-ass third eye like, oh my god, this girl's starving herself and she has an eating disorder. And I am here to prove you wrong. So let's talk about the benefits here, and the first one is that it completely renews your immune system. So doing some form of extended fasting, usually 3 to 5 days, reset your immune system by activating what is called stem cells in your body. The process is referred to as autophagy. Those of you who don't know what stem cells are, they're basically just unspecialized cells that could pretty much be used for anything like muscle cells, brain cells. And basically these cells can divide and renew themselves over time, and during autophagy, these cells are activated. Basically what autophagy is when your body uses itself as its energy source instead of relying on what you are actually eating. So basically your body is eating itself. Pretty cool, because that's kind of what it was made to do in a way, is to prevent yourself from going into starvation. I think we're kind of like bears here. They eat a bunch of food and then they hibernate and their body goes into autophagy. It's like the same concept with humans. It doesn't really roll that way. We eat over 3 meals a day, so we overeat. So basically during this process, cells create membranes that search through all the dead cells, worn out cells, and yes, even cancer cells, and say, get the f*** out. For those of you who have the mindset that if a scientist said it, then it must be right, here's something for you. Basically, scientists who have done studies on rats who were never in autophagy were fatter, sleepier, lazier, and they also died quicker as well. They had high cholesterol and they had impaired brains versus rats that reached autophagy. I'd say those first rats sound very familiar. Does that sound familiar? No. Another point you won't comprehend unless a scientist said it is, according to Professor Walter Longo, when we stop eating, the body stores ketones, fat, glucose, and basically recycles the damaged, worn out immune cells. And then when you start eating again, your white blood cells get a boost, like they increase in number, which basically results in new healthy white blood cells, meaning a new happy, healthy immune system. Another benefit is because fasting is known to renew everything, it also slows down the aging process. Studies show that autophagy, our cells being renewed, it has anti-aging effects. That we need autophagy, otherwise we'll become fat and old. Or in other words, in case you didn't understand, sluggish and less efficient. And obviously the quickest way to go into autophagy is by fasting. And we sort of see this type of stuff within animals. When a dog gets sick, it stops eating so that its body can heal itself. A lot of animals do it, besides us, basically, because we think we know. Cancer, a good topic. touchy one as well, so I'm not going to dig too deep on it. I'm not going to claim it's a cure, otherwise Illuminati will come to my house and murder me for shutting down a $100 million corporation. I said million, I meant billion. You have to think here, what feeds these cancer cells? What do they like the most? I would say sugar. What is causing you to be sluggish and less efficient? Sugar. So what do you do about this? Do you stop feeding the cancer cells, or do you just take chemo, which is killing more than just the cancer cells, it's killing you? I think the logical choice would be to stop feeding the cancer cells. Not eating for a limited amount of time can actually starve those cells. Before we continue, I just wanted to show you guys a quick article that you guys should give a read before you start arguing and shit. On chrisbeatcancer.com, there's this article called The Fast Lane to Health, How to Detox, and he makes a really cool point. As you fast, your body will primarily break down fat and non-essential tissues first to use for energy. Think about it like this. If you were stranded in a cabin in a blizzard with no heat and no firewood, in order to stay warm, you would burn the least important items first, like the furniture. You aren't going to throw your clothes, blankets, and food into the fire. Good point. Your body is the same way. It will burn through what it identifies as the least essential tissue first, like fat, cysts, and keyword tumors. This will happen first before your body experiences true starvation, which is the breakdown of vital organs and tissue. So when you guys claim that fasting is going into starvation mode, blah, 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 when you're in autophagy and you're detoxing and you're losing all this weight, you're starving, blah, 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 that's not starvation mode. Starvation mode is when your body's literally eating the important organs in your body. And not that this necessarily supports my argument, but many results were found better in people who did a mixture of fasting and chemo versus people who just did chemo. So if you combine fasting and chemo, better results were noticed, meaning the cured rates were a bit higher. So was it the chemo that did the curing or the fasting? I don't know. A doctor in India puts all of his patients on a fasting regimen, and he has noticed great results and has claimed that fasting does more starving towards the cancer cells than the person themselves. Dr. Sebi, which is sadly dead now, has claimed to cure cancer, herpes, just by going on a plant-based diet.
When I had cured these people of sickle cell and lupus and herpes and blindness, I was happy. I said, now I could go to all the leaders. I could go to Minister Farrakhan. I could go to Jesse Jackson. I could go to Al Sharpton. I could go to Oprah Winfrey. But what I found out, I was mistaken. I was wrong. They are not interested in the healing of any black people.
That's an explosive claim.
That is not an explosive statement. That is a reality. There isn't a black leader in America that is interested in the health of the black race.
Do you say that because they refuse to interact with you?
They are not in the position to respond. If they were, my first case of AIDS was cured in 1984. Yeah. And since then, we've been curing people of lupus and herpes and cancer and blindness. And not one black leader ever said, well, let us help the brother.
I recently watched a documentary called What the Health, and a woman with thyroid cancer, she did not want to try out chemo, so instead she tried the plant-based diet. She said within less than a year, her cancer was cured just by going on a plant-based diet. Not that that supports my fasting thing, but basically overall, my point is it's about what we're consuming and how we need to starve those cancer cells. And going on a plant-based diet and low carbing is starving those cancer cells because, well, carbs and sugar is what feeds them.
My background is in industrial and systems engineering, and that was my career path for a long time until I got thyroid cancer, and everything changed from there. I decided that I wanted to try alternative methods and treatments rather than have surgery and have my thyroid removed, which meant I'd be on medication forever, and I didn't want that. I just started reading how a plant-based diet can heal the body, and it has worked for so many people. So I immediately just switched to a completely whole food plant-based diet. After a year, the cancer was completely gone, and my thyroid had shrunk to normal size, and I was completely free of that.
Obviously, if you look these things up and do your research on it, it's not going to be the first thing that pops up. You can't just type in the cure to cancer and it'll come up. You have to literally dig deep, probably go on the freaking dark net and shit and find it, but hey, it's out there. And the only reason why it's not out there, out in the open, so everybody can see, is so that they can continue to make money off of chemo. So of course it's not going to be the first thing that pops up in the search engine. The benefit that I've gotten out of it was clearer skin. I always had a skin problem growing up with acne, and my skin is way clearer. Cons of fasting: being hungry, grow the fuck up. Grow some balls, deal with it. It's just a threshold that you're gonna go through from not eating every 2 seconds. Calm down. Next. And yes, overdoing it will lead to your death, but then again, that pretty much applies to everything else. Drinking too much water, eating too much food. Too much of anything is bad. Too much is good stuff is bad stuff. Oh, GP fun. Now it's time to talk about the myths, and the first one I'm gonna point out is that fasting is starving yourself. The dumbest one of all. Guys, there is a clear difference between detoxifying your body and starving yourself. Which, by the way, fasting is a choice and starving generally isn't. So get that together before you start using that starving word and shit, because that's honestly very offensive. And us Americans, I'm only referring to Americans because we're considered the fattest country. I don't know how other people eat in other countries. They don't eat as much as we do, I know that for sure. But however, we were not meant to be eating as much as we do in the first place. Someone basically told us to eat as much as we do. When really all that guarantees is health problems for us, and then Big Brother getting their paycheck. I'm gonna explain to you guys like the average life of an American. We eat non-natural, man-made food. We get sick every now and then, usually every season, getting cold, get some allergies, get the flu, and then we go to the doctors who never took nutrition classes. Then we get a prescription. We get prescribed a medication that maybe bypasses our sickness for a temporary amount of time. So then we come back and try another medication. And finally, after all the medications that were prescribed to you and that were gradually ruining your immune system, you finally find one that fits your needs and you rely on it for the rest of your life. Then you die of heart problems or diabetes at the age of 70, but let's also not forget that you had kids. Some of them have inherited those health issues, so now they go back and forth to the doctor every year. And they live off prescription meds and then die. And then it keeps going. And all that guaranteed out of going back and forth to the doctors instead of making diet changes and fasting. You just made the top 1%ers into the top 1%ers. And because of people like you, the healthcare industry has over $400 billion. And by 2021, we'll have over $600 billion. Congratulations. And it's all because we just don't open your eyes. I mean, it's really genius in my opinion. Someone's a genius in the background. Like, look, I know these people are easily to influence, so I'm just gonna feed off the money that they're giving. I mean, people are literally willing to pay for a medication that will temporarily cure something instead of just fucking miss out on 3 meals out of the thousands of meals that we eat every year. See, the great thing about the human body is it has evolved to know how to survive from starvation. Muscles are used for functioning, and then our fat is stored for energy. That's the purpose. Like, hey, I got fat in my body, I'm gonna use this for my energy, and here's the muscles so that you can actually be functional and do stuff. It's amazing. It's like I love science, but I hate it at the same time, but that's the beauty of it. That's what our bodies are for. It's made to know how to survive these things. It's like having a defense mechanism, but for food. What people don't understand is that the fat is burned first, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna go into starvation mode, not, oh, you don't eat for 3 days, you still have a bunch of fat on your body and shit, and then you go into starvation. That doesn't, what? You still have fat on your body. The body literally preserves your muscle mass until it's very, very low on fat and it has no choice but to eat itself. Like, I want someone to tell me when was the last time that they saw a fat person starve to death. I never seen someone who was fat die of starvation. They had to get skinny first, and then they die. So long story short, fasting is not starving. Fasting is a very conscious choice that I decided to make myself and, millions of other people. The thing about fasting is that you can decide when to start and when to end. With starving, I don't think there's really much of a decision-making process. Someone who is starving is not fasting. Starving does not equal fasting. Fasting does not equal starving. Fasting is a decision. It is the choice that I have made to cleanse myself internally, spiritually, mentally, physically, and it worked. So my body is my reliable source for it. I don't need a freaking guy in a white lab coat to tell me what to do. Second biggest myth, that the weight that you lose during a dry fast is nothing but water weight. Therefore, when you start eating, you will gain it all back. I'm not even gonna bother to list a source on this one. Screw the man in the lab coat, because I am living proof that that is not true. I lost a total of 7 pounds when I was on the 3-day fast, and I only gained 1 pound this whole week back. So 6 out of the 7 pounds that I have lost was true body fat. I can see the difference in my face, in my stomach, everywhere. I look 6 pounds lighter. Another myth is that not eating has negative effects on the brain. Yes. And eating all the time is why 1/10 of us have diabetes. Congratulations. Of course, if you're thinking about ice cream all day after not eating for 5 minutes, you're going to lose focus. It's psychological. And the funny thing is our bodies have adjusted to eating so much that when you don't, of course, your body's going to go into shock and be like, look, what the hell is happening? You're going to feel hungry and you're just going to lose focus. That's natural. It's like the first phase of not eating. Fasting has been shown to increase the rates of neurogenesis in the brain. Neurogenesis is the growth and development of new brain cells and nerve tissues. Intermittent fasting forces your brain to use ketones rather than sugar, which is cleaner and more efficient fuel for your brain. Some people actually naturally eat 1 meal a day, so this doesn't really apply to everybody. Some people can literally go a day without eating, no problem. Keep in mind, the people who are saying these types of myths are people who never even went more than 1 day without eating. I can promise you that. So they never really got to see like the true value of fasting. And to all the people who have and are still against it, I mean, cool, I guess. I'm not saying that fasting is a great experience. It was actually one of the worst experiences. I was hungry the entire time. However, like, it's more about the after effect. You know, you ever hear the saying that you have to work hard before you get something good? Like, nothing's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's beneficial. There's a difference. And I'm definitely not promoting not eating. People take it as if I'm saying, like, I'm anti-eating. That doesn't make any freaking sense. I'm anti being an overweight, brainwashed American. That's what I am. Myth number 4, we can't go more than 3 days without having food or water. So I did some research on how long a human can last without food or water, and basically what I found was, on an average, it can be between 3 to 10 days without having food or water, then you'll die. Live Strong says, on average, a person can survive without water for about 3 days, but some have reported to survive around 8 to 10. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that the average person can survive only a week without water, depending on the climate. So if you're in a fucking desert, you're gonna die. Ricardo Sierra, who works at like the California Conservation Corps, I think they know a lot about like wildlife and survival. He was a person can generally survive 3 to 5 days without water if the temperature is moderate and the individual has average muscle tone and body fat. If it's cold and you are exposed, or it's hot and you're exposed, that number goes way, way down pretty fast. So overall, we see a pattern. I'd say 3 to 10 days is what most sources say we can go without food or water. Now let's turn the tables. Mahatma Gandhi went 21 days without food or water. He actually did have little sips of water, so I take that back, but he went a long time without food. YouTuber Brother Fresh Air went 13 days voluntarily without food or water. Woman named Prana went 11 days without having food or water. Congratulations, Prana. You proved so many people wrong. The man who invented the snake diet. He's a very dope person, by the way, super honest. If you're a very sensitive person, then I would recommend not checking him out because he will offend you, but he has good intentions, I guess. Who is also living proof that we don't need to be eating 24/7. He went on a 7-day dry fast, no food or water.
Hey, fatty! This is snake juice dry fasting for crazy fucking fat loss results and autophagy.
Nevertell did a 5-day dry fast. A man referred to as Master Gina did a 12-day dry fast. 12 days. Janelle went 7 days, 168 hours without food or water. YouTuber G Breezy went 7 days without food or water. Professor Malinino did a 40-day hybrid fast, 22 days of drinking water, and 18 days without food or water. Joanna Maja, I think that's how you pronounce her name, went on a 14-day detox / cleansing journey to help with her eating disorder and other problems that she was having. Did a dry fast as well, 14 days. Millions of other people who have did this fast have also given a positive input on it as well.
But you can also fast once a week, every now and then, and I think in the past it was a normal way for the body to heal itself. We used to hunt for food and then we would fast for some time because we couldn't find food. And I think we forgot how important fasting really is for our body to have the ability and the time and the resources to heal itself. We also forgot that we don't really need anything from the outside to heal ourselves, because everything that is is needed. The real doctor is already inside, and our body is so intelligent.
I'm not saying I would go 14 days without eating, and I'm not telling you to, but I'm just using them to kind of prove my point even more and prove the science wrong. So yeah, that whole 3 to 10 day bullshit can get tossed in the trash. The human body proves people so wrong. It's so hard to prove these things to people because the average person is not going to go 10 days without eating by choice. That's the problem. So that's why this topic is very touchy. That's why people get defensive about it. That's why people deny it quickly. So I'm not going to 100% say all of you guys are absent-minded or anything like that. I get it. There's several more myths, but I feel like the facts that I listed in this video kind of overpower a lot of those myths. So, I mean, I kind of disprove them as I go throughout the video. I'm not going to sit there and list them all day, even though I could. Hi everyone. I haven't started my 3-day dry fast yet, but I just got back from Texas Roadhouse. I am stacking up on food right now. A really huge meal. I ate obviously most of it from the restaurant, but they serve the best dinner rolls with cinnamon butter. It was so good. I had a 16-ounce ribeye steak, medium rare, with onions and mushrooms, and I also had a sweet potato with brown sugar. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday morning, and I'm on my first day of my 3-day dry fast. But according to my dad, it's a great experience. It's not as bad as you think, and you end up feeling actually better and not hungry after the 3 days. That's why he continued to do like a 6-day fast. I think what's really important is that we have to listen to our bodies, not let someone think for us when it comes to our bodies. So if your body feels like it's weak and basically if you feel like shit, maybe you should do something about it. For example, every morning when I wake up I feel drowsy. I don't feel energetic at all. And this fasting is actually supposed to cure that. I know that the first 1 or 2 days I'm not going to feel good at all. I'm probably going to feel a little bit weak. But when you get through it and you get past that threshold, you're supposed to feel a lot better. So we'll see, and I'll just listen to my body and see how it goes, because the only reliable source is your body. So to be able to have something to do this whole weekend, I'm going to be fasting. I ordered all of the Jersey Shore seasons. But yeah, right now I feel just a regular hungry. I mean, like my dad, he actually broke his fast today, so I believe he did 8 days total of fasting. He did 3 days of the 100% dry fast with no food and water, and the rest was just water. So he ate for the first time today, and he says that he feels good, and then now he's going to do another 2-day fast, which is, a 3-day fast, which is when I'm done. And then he's going to eat again. So when I start eating, he's going to eat again as well. Hi everyone, it is 11:42 on April 21st, Saturday, and I'm on my second day of the 3-day dry fast. Let me just say I am hungry. The good news is I woke up this morning. I actually slept over at my grandma's house. I woke up this morning feeling just a little bit dizzy, or not dizzy, weak, like I didn't want to get out of bed. But now I feel just a tad bit more energetic, but yet I'm really, really hungry. So it's like a weird feeling right now. I can tell that my body's just like trying to adjust to what's happening, and eventually my body's just going to start eating itself, and that's when the fat loss begins. I actually weighed myself, and I weigh 135 now, so I guess I lost like a pound. And actually probably 2 pounds, because when I weighed myself, I had this sweatshirt on, so I have a really baggy sweatshirt on right now, and I weighed 135. So I probably weigh like, I don't know, 134, 134.5, around there. So I did lose some weight, which is good, and it's only been 1 day. So yeah, I'm on my second day right now. I have to stay strong until tomorrow night. But as far as how I'm feeling, I don't feel weak per se. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just really, really hungry. It was really hard not to eat breakfast this morning. My grandma made like sausage, egg, and toast for my niece, and I was just like seconds away from just tearing that food apart. I'm super hungry right now. So I'm going to go weigh myself so I can prove to you guys how much weight I'm actually losing. That's one thing about being a YouTuber, is a lot of YouTubers lie and stuff like that. Is how much I weigh. That's neat. Hey guys, it is 4:25 p.m. on my second day, and I'm starving. I'm starting to feel a little bit more weak, so I'm lying in bed right now, watching the Jersey Shore. My stomach feels like it's like shrinking or something. To prove to you guys that I am losing weight, which by the way I weighed myself and I am now 133 pounds. So I lost a total of 3 pounds so far. Here are these strips that determine whether or not you're in like, what is it? Ketosis, osmosis? I don't know. One of those strange words that mean you're burning fat at the moment. I peed on this, TMI, I know. And this is like one of the color, it's color coded. I'll show you guys the color too. So, I don't know if you can see on my phone, but this is the color coding. Is pretty dark. I'm like the second to last one, or even the last one, honestly. So that's good news, other than the fact that I'm fucking hungry. By the way, these are called ketone strips. I know, this is a really good angle of my face. Hi guys. These are called ketone strips. Good morning. So it is, what time is it? I'm completely out of it. It is 8:30 in the morning on day 3. I will be finished today at 10 p.m. I feel, I guess you could say, a weird type of energetic. It's not like I'm weak and energetic at the same time. Like I'm wide awake right now. I feel more aware of my surroundings, which is really weird. Like I generally don't pay attention to certain things, and like I'm like constantly like paying attention. I don't know. I just feel more aware, and it's really hard to explain. I'm not as hungry as I was last night. I should have recorded an update last night. I felt like shit last night. Like I was super hungry. I was watching videos about food. My stomach was making a bunch of noises. I just felt so empty. And now I don't really feel that anymore. I feel at a very like neutral level. Don't get me wrong, I am hungry, and like a glass of water and some oatmeal or something just sounds brilliant right now, but I'm not as bad as I was last night. This is my view at the moment. As you can see, I did absolutely fucking nothing and my room is trashed. That's gross. Hi guys, I'm on my last day. It is, what time? It's 8:52. I have one more hour basically until I can finally drink a tall glass of water and eat something. As you can see, like my skin doesn't look as bad as it did originally. I had makeup on in the first shot that I showed you guys of my skin, but I think that my skin looks a lot better. I feel a lot better about myself. So yeah, that's how it goes. Right now I'm feeling kind of, that's the problem. Like I'm feeling okay right now. I'm not feeling as bad, mainly because my body is just like, oh, you're gonna get food in the next hour. I don't know, maybe it's just because I know that I'm getting food within this next hour, so I feel fine. But no, I don't feel bad right now at all. But however, my stomach feels very empty, and I can't wait to just get some food in it. I will definitely show you guys some after shots so you guys can see how I'm currently looking. I got down to 129 pounds, so I lost a total of 7 pounds. Can't believe that. That's crazy. So this is how I look after my 3-day fast. I can definitely see a difference in my stomach, as you can tell. I really like the results that I gotten out of this. Before I go, I just wanted to point out that we need to come to the realization that most of what we know about our bodies and just about, honestly, life in general is something that was told from somebody else, not something that you went out and personally discovered. Shout out to all the people who were open-minded enough to actually try to go discover something themselves. But generally, we go through, 12 years of school, and then we go to college, and we learn more, and we listen to other people telling us how things are, and they're reading off of a book, and they're telling us what so-and-so discovered. Nobody's actually discovering something themselves. We are taught something. What you know was taken from someone else. The way you think was someone else thinking for you. Not much of what we know about our bodies is personal. We generally just go off of a textbook. Which do you consider a more reliable source, your body or a textbook? I honestly consider my body, and I guess that's what separates me from other people, and that's why people consider me the crazy one, because I rely on myself and, the real source, and not just a man in a white lab coat. Anybody can go to school and memorize words and take a test. That doesn't make you smart. And not everybody can think for themselves, so set yourself apart and just don't be a guinea pig. I hope you guys enjoyed the points that I made. I hope I opened your guys' mind. Overall goal of this video was to just simply inform people that we are overeating. We don't need to be eating as much as we usually do. I'm not saying go on a fast. It is a choice that you can make for yourself. However, we have been lied to about what we're eating and how much of the stuff that we are eating is just way over what it needs to be. The human body isn't even doing what the human body needs to be doing because of the way we do things now. We used to be cavemen where there was hunters and gatherers and they would have one big feast and then they go to hunt. And sometimes hunting would have taken a long time. Sometimes hunting took 2 days. They couldn't just go out to the freaking grocery store and grab some meat or go to McDonald's and grab a burger. No, they had to go out and legit, like, I don't know, they would go hunt for a deer and then share it with their entire pack of people, which could have ranged from maybe like one little family to like maybe 20 people that they had to split it with, and they would go and repeat and do it again. It wasn't just where you could just go open your fridge and then binge eat and watch Netflix. It was not like that at all. These were active people. That is all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Add me on my social media if you would like. My Instagram's Chandler Keys. Snapchat's always Chandler. Comment below what you think, and I hope this video was informative. That was my only goal throughout this video, was just to open people's eyes. I'm on your side. I'm trying to help out other people. Let's just say that the system isn't on your side. So have a good night.